There's a lot of news in the world of Magic the Gathering right now. The Dungeons & Dragons set is going to have supply issues. We've got an update on the World Championship prize situation, and there are a number of changes coming to pre-releases, starting with this current pre-release that we're about to have.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, I hope the day finds you well. We are here for another installment of Mega Magic News. Or I guess, considering the heat wave we've been dealing with, hot news, hot off the presses. So, have a number of things to talk about. We're going to do them in the order they appear on the screen. So we're starting out with the product availability for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and beyond. So it says, we recognize that fans around the world are looking for more Magic the Gathering everywhere they shop, and have faced some difficulties finding some products. We understand that this can be frustrating, and Wizards of the Coast is hard at work to meet the continued demand for Magic as we look ahead to releases in 2021 and beyond. To that end, availability of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set boosters and draft boosters may be somewhat limited in the United States and Canada during the week of pre-release and release. While we anticipate some slight shortfalls, these products are not limited releases, and customers should expect these products to remain available as we continue to deliver set boosters and draft boosters leading up to and after release. Additionally, we do not expect pre-release packs to be impacted at all. Thank you for your understanding as we work to supply stores globally with more of the Magic products they need for fans and in-store play. So it's interesting to note, first of all, that this is happening in North America, specifically for Canada and the US, right? And considering that Wizards of the Coast is located in the US, that's a pretty big deal. Like, their literally supply to their own location is limited. And we also need to add on the fact that this is with them delaying the release by a week. Now, they made the announcement however long ago, so we all kind of forgot about it. But this whole release of the Dungeons & Dragons set, the pre-release and everything, was pushed back by a full week. So even after pushing it back by a full week, they were unable to sort out these supply issues. And also, notice the title says, Product Availability for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and Beyond, right? Like, that doesn't seem to be really highly emphasized, but it appears that it's going to be more than just the Dungeons & Dragons set that we're going to have this issue with, and I wouldn't be surprised if this problem persisted for the rest of the year and even into 2022, right? The world is still recovering from what happened, and production levels and things like that aren't really where they used to be. Now, this isn't going to be a situation, most likely, at least I think, like it was with Jumpstart, where Jumpstart was a very limited release product that they had intended to make more of a vanilla, constantly available product, but just weren't able to make it work. We're dealing with a genuine full-on release here. So in this situation, I expect that this will only impact the very beginning of the season for Dungeons & Dragons, and then after a little bit, those packs will be available. When you go into a store, usually I find that maybe the more expensive items might be gone. You might not be able to get collector boosters from new sets, but usually they will have regular draft boosters and set boosters available for every set that is in standard, and that's how I expect this to go. Now, let us move on to the next subject, which is the World Championship prize structure. So, if you saw my earlier video, I talked about how Wizards of the Coast slashed the prize pool from Worlds from $1 million to $250,000. Now, that hasn't actually changed. The prize pool remains a total of $250,000, as you can see from this chart here. However, there is an extra detail that genuinely changes things, and that is the top paragraph right here, where it says, first, it's been a bit of a year, and in recognition of the monumental accomplishment of qualifying for a world championship during a period of time where the world at large has adapted to unexpected, massive challenges, including a global pandemic, each player who qualifies and participates in Magic World Championship will receive an additional appearance fee of $50,000. which is a significant amount of money. Understand that actually, from the most technical standpoint, this is actually a bigger prize pool now. If you lump in the $50,000 that each player gets and count it up as a total, considering that there are 16 players, that's actually adding $800,000 in total to the money that's being given out for this event. So while the prize pool itself remains at $250,000, now for the champion event, Wizards of the Coast is actually giving out more than $1 million. It would be $1,050,000. So the prizes have actually gone up by $50,000 and has been spread across evenly for every player. So just showing up now guarantees that you will get $50,000. Actually, showing up and playing in the event guarantees you a payout of $55,000, because if you notice down here, it starts up here with first place getting $70,000, but all the way down here, the last 3 or 4 places, they get $5,000 apiece, right? So $55,000 is the minimum amount of money you'll get for playing in this, which is actually fairly amazing if you had adjusted to the idea of just playing for the $250,000. Because if you're playing for $250,000, look at the second place prize. Second place prize is $40,000. So now everybody who plays in this event gets more money than coming in second place. I'm sure that's going to make the event more enjoyable for the players involved, because now, yes, you're competing for hefty chunks of money. I would love to win $70,000. That'd be amazing. But you're already guaranteed 50 grand, right? So you're going to have a good time regardless. Even if you come in last place, you're going to, bro, I made 55 G's off of this event. And we're talking American dollars, because I'm in Canada, right? And American money's worth like 20-30% more. So that is an absolutely insane amount of money. So what happened here? Why did this happen? Well, most likely what happened was due to the very public nature of the outcry about this. I mean, the pro players literally wrote a letter to the CEO of Hasbro saying, you guys didn't promise us this money, but it was as good as promised. I'm paraphrasing, right? They said, basically, you didn't promise us this money, but it was as good as promised. And it's not really going to look good for your image if you don't go ahead and fulfill the prize structure. Now, I don't know if what happened, I don't know if the CEO of Hasbro even saw it, because I feel like somebody like that is too high ranking to be monitoring things that are tweeted at them. You know what I mean? Maybe they have an assistant who tells them or whatever. Maybe somebody at Wizards of the Coast saw that it was getting to the point where it was being sent to Papa Hasbro, and they're like, okay, maybe we should do something about this, right? Because you have a scenario where Wizards of the Coast has become a division of Hasbro. So before, they were basically like just owned by Hasbro and were like a company under the wing of Hasbro, but being moved up to an actual division brings greater resources. Hasbro will give you more resources, but also your responsibilities are much higher. So you have to avoid things like getting into lawsuits. You have to avoid as much bad PR as possible. So either somebody at Hasbro saw this and said, fix this, or somebody at Wizards of the Coast went, oh, we tried to, essentially, my opinion on this is Wizards of the Coast tried to pull a fast one by cutting the prize support from $1 million to $250,000, thinking that most people wouldn't care and they would get away with it. And I will say I had a cynical perspective on this, and I genuinely thought they were going to get away with it and nothing was going to be done, and that the complaining about the pros complaining would be swept under the rug as if it doesn't matter, right? You can say, oh, this was Wizards' plan all along, and I have a hard time believing that, because if this was Wizards' plan to give every player an additional $50,000, then as soon as the pros started complaining about the fact that this had been cut from $1 million down to $250,000, Wizards would have tweeted out. When Wizards has a solution to something, they tweet it out right away. They don't go, you know what, let's let the bad feelings simmer, and we'll tell them like weeks down the road, oh no, actually, you know what, there was no reason for you to be upset because we're actually giving away more than $1 million. I mean, we're dealing with a company that has been told by Hasbro to double their profits over the next 5 years, right? So thinking that out of the goodness of their hearts, they're just going to pull $800,000 extra dollars out of their pocket and go, we know we told you it was only going to be $250,000, but we always meant to make it more than $1 million. It's like, come on, guys. Who you fooling? You just realized actually the bad PR from having like the top highest level players basically turn against your game and be angry about it. It's not a good look. It's really not a good look. It is a newsworthy item, and people would be talking about it. So this, to me, comes across as damage control. I know there's some people who want to give Wizards the benefit of the doubt, but I'll admit that I've been dealing with this company long enough that I totally view this as an after-the-fact scrambling to patch the hole in the boat, as opposed to there was never a hole in the boat, they just didn't explain it properly. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't come across that way to me. But the good news is that the people who are playing in this event now can get a hefty sum of money like they were originally told they'd be getting. And in this case, it actually seems better to me. So, the last thing we have to talk about is actually a basket of items. And that is talking about what's going to be going on with the upcoming Midnight Hunt pre-release. I think I misspoke earlier in the video, making it sound like this news item had something to do with the Dungeons and Dragons set, but it doesn't. This is going to be further on in the year. They're making changes to the way that pre-releases operate on a couple of different levels. So, this is from the WPN website, direct from the source. WPN is Wizards Play Network. This is the stuff that they show actual store owners so they know what's up. So that's where this is sourced from. And the other two items are straight up directly from Wizards of the Coast through their other methods of displaying information. So, what's new for Innistrad Midnight Hunt pre-release? Innistrad Midnight Hunt kicks off Magic's return to the fan-favorite plan of Innistrad, starting at a pre-release on September 17th. Pre-release looks a little different this time around, so here are 5 things you must know to prepare. Pre-release packs now come 15 to a case. Set boosters are the new pre-release prize support. You're getting extra buy-a-box cards as sales incentives. Pre-release early sales promotions will vary by region. Stores that reach WPN Premium in July will get a digital Innistrad Midnight Hunt preview card. And there will be no Commander dueling at pre-release. So, let's go through these items and break them down. Pre-release packs are now going to be 15 to a box instead of 18 to a box. So they're reducing the amount of pre-release kits per case to 15. That actually ties into the second point. The reason for that is set boosters are the new pre-release prize support. Wizards of the Coast, I read the whole article, and what they said basically was that they did a poll, and 64% of people who were polled said that they would rather receive 2 set boosters than 3 draft boosters. So essentially the argument is that set boosters are more desirable. Now, set boosters don't have the same basically amount of packs in a booster box, right? So a regular draft booster box is 36 packs. A set booster box is actually 30 packs. So you have a reduction of 6 packs. Now, the way Wizards of the Coast does prize support for pre-releases is for every pre-release case you buy, they will send you a box as prize support. So in the past, it would work like this. You would buy a case of 18 pre-release packs. That would come along with a draft booster box that had 36 packs in it. So there's 2 packs of prize support for every single pre-release kit. So essentially, for everybody who enters into your event, you have 2 packs worth of prize support. Now, you can determine how that prize support is given out. You can go top load it and make huge prizes for first place. You can make it so that everybody who comes gets a booster pack and then spread the other ones up above, right? There's lots of different ways to disperse these. But when they're changing to set boosters, now you don't have 36 boosters anymore. You have 30 boosters. So for the 2 packs per pre-release kit thing to work, now we go 1530 instead of 1836. So the ratio remains the same in terms of prize support. But it's important to note that this does come along with an increase of price for the pre-release packs. It's kind of tucked into the middle. Like, you have this what's new for Innistrad Midnight Hunt pre-release, and nowhere in the point form version do they mention at all that there's going to be a price increase. But it is mentioned in the article, like proper, the full version. There's just a little sentence that says, expect to see an increase in price on the pre-release kits. So that is obviously going to translate into increased prices for us as well. The store's not going to absorb those costs. So understand that at the point of Midnight Hunt, that's when we're going to see increases on pre-release packs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see increases across the board on draft boosters, set boosters. I don't know about collector boosters because they're already pretty high, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those inch up as well as bundles. I expect, honestly, a across the board price increase, but that is just me theorizing. I'm not stating that as news. The next item on the list is you're getting extra buy-a-box cards as sales incentives. So they're increasing the amount of buy-a-box promos they're sending out to the stores by 25%. For the pre-release early sales promotion will vary by region. That's just something specific to stores. We're just going to skip on by that. Stores that reach WPN Premium in July will get a digital Innistrad Midnight Hunt preview card. So any stores that manage to make it to the WPN Premium level, which is a difficult task to accomplish. About 5% of the stores that are part of the WPN are part of this premium experience, right? You have to have a really high level of sales, and you have to have a really high level of people actually coming and playing in events. You have to essentially be the cream of the crop when it comes to Magic LGSs. It's the kind of stuff that's much easier to accomplish when your store is in a massive metropolitan area. Local game stores are going to have a much harder time reaching the bar of this. But for any of the stores that do manage this month to qualify to get into premium or already in premium, I'm guessing it says stores that reach WPN Premium in July, so I'm assuming that means all WPN Premium stores. I don't think it's an incentive just for newly joined WPN stores, but it's really simple. Basically, you know, when a new set comes out and they put out the list of all the different outlets where preview cards will be, we'll just have some actual stores that are given, here you go, here's your card to spoil. I expect they'll probably just be like whatever draft commons and uncommons. I doubt they're going to be giving like amazing cards as spoilers, but it's just the card image. They're not going to be sending the store special promo cards or anything like those D&D ampersand cards we talked about. It's literally just getting to be part of the spoiler season and being sent an image to share. And then for the last item on the list, there'll be no commander doing a pre-release. That's because Innistrad Midnight Hunt isn't really planning on having much in the way of commander decks. I don't know the exact number, but I'm anticipating 2 commander decks, similar to the way they did Zendikar Rising. So there's no commander dueling at this particular pre-release, and I expect that will maybe also be the case for Crimson Vow, because Crimson Vow is also one of these Innistrad kind of double-staged end-of-the-year set. I'm really curious to see how that's going to turn out. But either way, that covers all the news. Big thank you to all my patrons. Thanks for supporting my channel. Let me know your thoughts, my friends, and I'm going to leave a link to all my D&D spoiler videos in case you haven't seen them yet. Goodbye for now!